Okay, today is October 7th, and the sun is kind of coming in and out behind the clouds, so I thought it was a perfect time to show you the yard and how it changes. I think the last time I did this, it was like either the last day of September or maybe a couple days after September. I can't remember. I have to put the different videos together to show you. But today is October 7th. If you can see behind me how the... Oops. How am I going to do this? Let me hold it like this. Actually, hold on. There's a lot of noise in the woods back there. It sounds like something's walking around, like a deer or something. But anyway, here's the tree line. See all the trees over in this area are now yellow, and over here they're brighter orange and yellow. So we're making some transitions here in this area right here. It'll be all yellow and orange, and then a storm will come, rainstorm or something, and they'll all fall off like very quick. So I figured I'd get out here and get some of this footage before that happens so you can see the transition in my yard. Also, this tree back here over my house on the end, those two trees have pretty much lost all their leaves, and I'll show you where those leaves went. Usually the wind just takes them to the borders of the of our property. Whoops. Come on. Usually the wind just takes them to the border of the property, and then in the spring the landscaper comes and takes care of them all. But can you hear the leaves crunching and falling? These are all the leaves from those two trees up there. Those two trees right there? Oh, those are just squirrels. The squirrel's playing chase in the woods over there. Here's all the leaves from there, and they're all over. If you look over here against the building, and I'll show you right under the trees. I'll show you right under. Over here. We live in the country, we don't live in the city, so it's kind of pointless to rake all these up or even to blow them off because, I mean, look at how many leaves are around. I asked the landscaper what he thought about bagging them up. He was just, this was last year, and he was not entirely excited about the idea. But anyway, I just wanted to do this recap. I was hoping maybe the sun would be out so that it would illuminate these trees a little bit, because when the sun does hit them, they're vibrant. But yeah, the sun's behind the clouds, and that's all right, because when it's out, it makes everything look really dark. It makes the trees look great, but it makes everything else look very dark when I record, because of the direction of where the sun is. But let's see here. I also want to show you one other thing. Well, a couple other things actually. But alright, so here's the trees in the sunlight. There they are. Check out these apple trees. Can you see the apples hanging from the trees up there? I'm going to flip this around. I'm on the upper edge of the front lawn, and You can see the vegetation is heading out for the season. We have blackberry bushes and raspberry bushes back here. There's some other kind of bushes there that I don't think I would want to eat those berries. I'll get a close-up of them in a second. We have grapevines all over the place up in here. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they see this tree right here. The big stalk right there. I don't think I'm pointing right. The big stalk right there. There's on this side there's strands going. You can see them really clearly on this side. I'll see if I can flip this around and show you that way. But there's all kinds of grapevines over here. I'm gonna give you a close up of these berries. So yeah, here's some more vegetation that's going to be making its way out. There's some of these little flowers here. I just did a close-up, so you'll be able to see these closer. We also have milkweed. We have a whole bunch of milkweed on the side of the shop. There's a whole bunch of milkweed. It's kind of, I wouldn't call it rare, but it's not usual. People are always asking for it because this time of year, kids in school, they order monarch butterflies, and not everybody has milkweed to feed the butterflies. So we usually have a lot of butterflies around here in the summer. So, we just have a whole bunch of milkweed up in this area. When I was a kid, we used to have milkweed fights. Pull off the milkweeds and then throw them at each other and make them explode on the person's clothes that we were throwing them at. Our parents really hated it, but it was a favorite game. I was thrilled to know that we had milkweed in our yard when we moved here. Alright, so the sun is out and you can see the brightness of the clouds. I mean, the sun is out and you can see the brightness of the trees. See the brightness? Let me bring you over. Bring you over so you can see. I hope you saw the, I hope you got to see a little bit of the grapevines. They grew like upward, and then they drape themselves over the trees. We don't really do much with them, but they're pretty cool to have. Tony's mom really liked them, so I think that's where they came from. His mom might have planted some, but alright, so here's the, pretty cool, huh? Nice and bright. The whole yard will eventually look like this, and then it will look naked. Completely see-through. We'll be able to see all of our neighbors, and they'll be able to, well, we don't have a lot of neighbors. We have our neighbors right there, and our neighbors right there. We have a neighbor way back there, and a neighbor in front of us. But for the most part, there aren't a whole lot of people around here. I actually like having people a little bit closer by. We've had some incidents in the area, and it was always nice to have neighbors, especially the neighbors that we have, because we have law enforcement neighbors, and that is very good. Yeah, it's nice having law enforcement neighbors. Alright, so yeah, here's what it looks like. I really like being outside. Oh, mushrooms. Oh, a dandelion. Alright. Well, that's weird. There's like one single dandelion on the yard, in the yard on the lawn, and I only see one mushroom, but I'm gonna get a close-up of it. I always get excited when I see the mushrooms. And they're always in that area down there. There's only one, but I'm gonna make it a star today. Here's the dandelion, and I'm gonna show you the mushroom. Ready? We're doing a little bit of work on the back of the house. We're actually redoing the dog pen area. It's gonna be probably next week or the week after, where we're having somebody come over and they're gonna dig up this area, sand it, gravel it, and then put like pavers and stuff on top for the dogs. We just ripped up the old stuff. That's all the junk. This is all junk too. We're gonna redo all the stairs, and just put a new locked-in area so that if they have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, we don't have to risk taking them out. And you know, stuff happens at night. We have coyotes. There's a really large fox that lives here, and Tony wants to make it go away, but I don't. I want it to stay. We have skunks, a lot of skunks. And when I say a lot, I mean enough that we see them in the daytime sometimes, and they're not scared of us. I think I've recorded some video showing that. Bears, they just trapped a bear. Actually, they trapped either one bear twice or two bears once in the last month. And also there's been some rumors of big cats around. Maine doesn't have those kind of big cats, so that's why everybody's on the lookout. There's a very excited bird right above him. I'm not really sure why he's so hyper. But here's some of the trees in the back. Here are some of the trees in the back of the house. So when we look out our bathroom windows, we can see pretty yellow trees back there. I guess that's it. I just wanted to make sure that I could document the transition of our yard through fall, because for the last few years, the color has been coming back slowly. Maine had an issue, or at least this area did, with blight. And if you don't know what blight is, when you think of Maine in the fall, you think of bright colors. It's beautiful here, as long as you don't have blight. Blight is actually brown. I'll show you. Actually, this is a great example. It's this tree over here. Whoops, my finger's in the way, sorry. This tree over here is a great example of blight. Essentially, let me just do this. Essentially, it's this color, but on the trees instead of the brightness. See, I get excited when the brightness comes back. This tree here is borderline blight. Let's see if I can get this right. This tree here is borderline blight. It's supposed to be a bright yellow, really bright yellow. As you can see, it's kind of a brown with a little bit of yellow. Eventually next year, hopefully it'll be brighter yellow. But there's just parts of this tree. Like, there are parts that are really bright, and there are parts that are more brown. The brown is blight. So when you go up and down the interstate, and you see brown leaves on trees, and you wonder what the heck is happening there, it's blight. I don't know why they go brown instead of their, the natural color. I haven't really looked into that. At first I thought it was just because they were salting the highways in the winter, and somehow that affected the trees in the fall. I don't know. But I don't think that's it, because when I've climbed one of the smaller mountains in the area and looked out during fall, there was blight up, out in the view also, and there's no salting going on there. So I just think there was something wrong with the trees. But thank goodness they're recovering. Okay, so here is the stash of milkweed. You won't be able to appreciate it because it's, on camera, but if you were in person, you might say, oh wow, that's a pretty good amount. It's not a lot, but it's a pretty good amount. So this is all milkweed. Here, look. I'll flip it around in a second. So you can see up close. But the milkweed goes here, all the way back there, all the way down. And let me flip this around so that you can see it up close. What is this? Is this a fly? Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen a fly pollinating something before, or drawing pollen from plants before, but I think that's what I just saw there. That was weird. Yeah, it moved like a bee, but it acted and looked like a fly, so that's weird. But, yeah, so this is all the milkweed. There's a whole bunch. There's way more over here than I thought there was, so I'm going to have to go announce it on our town board that we have milkweed if anybody needs it, because usually kids need it right about this time of year. For either their classrooms or their parents order monarch butterflies as like a project at home. Okay, I guess that's it. I don't really have anything else to show. I wanted to, I'll give you a little view of what the driveway looks like, how wide it is. I don't know if you followed close enough to know that Tony actually went off into the ditch on the side of our driveway. I'll show you what our driveway looks like without any snow on it, and you can see how weird it was that he actually went off the side. But here we go. Ready? Okay, so now I'm gonna show you the hornet's nest. Well, that's weird. Something's happening to it right now. Oh man! No way! Well, this is a first. Look at this. Oh, what? I did not know this until right now. Look at this. Somebody went hunting. That is so bizarre. I was just looking at this, I want to say maybe a day or two ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to take a video of it to show you guys how things are going. We have starlings, I think that's what they're called, starlings in the area. And a lot of people, some people like starlings. I don't really care one way or the other. But there are people who are big fans of them. There are a lot of people who are not big fans of them because they're kind of worse than blue jays. You know how blue jays attack nests of other birds and eat their eggs? I think starlings actually eat the babies. So once they're born, they like cannibalize like the babies. But it looks like something with a very definite beak was poking around in there trying to find dinner or something. The hornets had already moved on. I'm going to get a close-up of that in a second. And I have another area of the yard that I want to show you that has to do with nature and how it moves into areas. If you give them an opportunity to, they will. So this is one of those areas, and we actually left that there on purpose in the summer because no birds put their nests up here while the hornets were there, okay? Here's a close-up. Okay, now I'm going to bring you to the pool deck. The pool deck is usually pretty active in the summertime, so I'm not really sure, I'm not really sure why the birds felt safe enough to do this. But I didn't want to move it, because if there's birds, there's a little chipmunk. If there's birds, then there's less likely to be bugs like spiders and stuff, because they eat those things. But where are they? Here's one right here. Here's one right here. See, I'm right here at the very border. Can you see my fingers? I'll give you a close-up in a second. There's a nest right here. There was another nest under here, but I don't see it anymore. I wonder what happened to it. I saw 2 nests in the summer. I don't know what happened to it. I don't see it. It really stuck out too, so maybe Tony knocked it down. He has a tendency to do that. Okay, I'm gonna flip this around. I just found another one, but it's not one of the ones that I saw in the summertime. It's over here in this corner. The underneath of our deck is usually pretty clean. That's the only reason why I'm even doing this. This isn't like an old deck with all kinds of spiders and stuff under it. So here's another one right here. And it's bigger than the one that I just showed you. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. See it? And it looks like they used paper to make this. Let me see here, a little bit of paper right there anyway. I don't know what's in there, so I don't want to touch it because I don't think there's anything in there, but if there is, I don't want to dissuade a parent bird, like a mother or father, from coming back and dealing with their babies. I don't think there's any babies in there, but I'm going to take some video and show you what's in there. And I'll be seeing for the first time too, because I can't get my head up in there, so I'm just going to use my phone. I gotta flip it around. Actually, no, wait. Let's see. Oh, wow. That's weird. I feel like something just chirped at me. Sometimes when you get too close to chipmunks, they'll do that. They'll start chirping like crazy. It was just one single chirp, but it was really loud. Sometimes when chipmunks move their babies from one area to another, they'll leave them on the ground. I don't know why they do that. Sometimes they drop them. And then if you get too close, the parents go crazy, chirping, 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 and they just do not stop. Even when you walk away, they don't stop, and they don't come get their babies for a while either. Okay, so I'm going to take one more view of this really cool nest because it looks, I can only see it through the camera right now. It looks like it's like covered. It doesn't look like there's a hole in there. So I'm going to take a little bit more footage. Alright, I will figure this one out when I get to review the footage inside because it's a little bright out here right now. That's the nature stuff that I wanted to get on video before fall really hit. This is a really warm day. It's like 63 or 60. Actually, no, it said it was 69. It was only supposed to get up to 63 or 64, and right now it's 69. Yesterday it was only supposed to, actually it was supposed to get up to 73 or something, and it wound up being like 76 or 78. It was really warm yesterday. The pool is empty. We're getting rid of this pool. We have a new one already that we're gonna put in its place next spring. Oops, sorry about the sun's behind me, sorry. I try to avoid that when I can. But hunting season is among us. Yesterday and the day before, neighbors all around were test firing their guns. Somebody was test firing a large number of rounds. I think it's bow season too already because one of my friends went out with their grandpa and got a really small doe with a bow. A really small doe. Probably only about 7 to 12 pounds of meat on it, maybe. Not a lot. It looked like a baby when I first looked at it, but no, it was a doe. Alright, I was thinking maybe something would jog my memory and I'd have more to report on, but I really wanted to show you the hornet's nest and the first bird's nest over there. The second one was a bonus. Okay. That's fall in Maine so far, and today is October 7th, I think it's the 7th. So we're about a week and a half out from the last time. I think. I'm not sure. Well, I'll have to recap when I go over the video again, when I'm editing. Alright, it's super warm out. It's a perfect fall day. I'm gonna go inside and download this video. Till then, till you see me again, bye-bye.